Hi guys, I finally got around to testing the rally mode in Assetto Corsa that came out not so long ago. I admit honestly, I was very skeptical about this mode, because Assetto Corsa is probably the best circuit racing simulator, along with iRacing. Accordingly, this game is designed for different type of racing: downforce, suspension performance, gravel and snow surfaces. Well, what kind of rally we can talk about here? But as it turned out, nothing is impossible. Modders have recently worked on the alternative rally physics and gravel surface, and we're gonna talk about what we finally got in this video. As a subject of comparison, we have two opponents at once today: current plug-and-play game from Codemasters, EA Sports WRC, and the only rally simulator at the moment, Rich and Burns Rally. Let's go! Customization. Let's start with the aspect that surprised me the most. In terms of number of modes and things you can change, Assetto Corsa can be compared to BMG Drive. The only downside is the car settings. There are fewer settings than in RBR, in EA Sports WRC, and definitely than in BMG. But what we have here: rich weather settings, you can replace sound in one click, advanced sound volume setting using text file, and much more. There are a lot of resources with different versions of the same rally car. Many cars have dozens of liveries. I also like that there is option to adjust the feedback level for each car separately. So if you like things like this, then this is definitely the game for you. EA Sports WRC, on the contrary, is a plug-and-play type of games, as I already said. But here you have opportunity to make your own car, and it's interesting, despite the small number of variations from which you choose. And you can also create your own livery from scratch. It's cool as well. RBR has a rich system for customization of car setup. There's also resources with the choice of liveries. You can set up the camera and FOV as you want, change DigiDash, and there's also cool additional plugins, such as a plugin for replays, Director's Cut. Very convenient and functional launcher, but even this launcher can be compared to the content manager of Assetto Corsa. This is just planetary level. I have never seen anything more functional in my life in relation to games. So this game gets 10+, RBR 10 points, and EA Sports WRC gets 7 points from me. Variety of rally cars. After seeing the number of rally car mods out there, I realized how logical it was to create this rally mode and Copilot app. The amount of rally cars here is definitely 10 points. I just couldn't think of a rally car that wasn't here. But there's another problem: not all cars are made to achieve 10 points. Also, unlike BMG, most of rally cars here are still very good level. In any case, you will need to spend some time testing before you settle on good options. Plug-and-play games don't have this problem. All cars are of a good level, and there's a lot of them in EA Sports WRC. This is perhaps one of main advantages of the game from Codemasters. There are about 100 rally cars in RBR, so that's 10 points. But there are nuances here. Not all rally cars are here. This is an official plugin, and it's simply not possible to obtain license for some cars. But there's still a lot of cars, so it's 10. Variety of rally stages. The first difficulty Assetto Corsa faces is the cool rally stages. Everything is simple. There are few good rally stages here at the moment. There are more high-quality tarmac stages, fewer gravel ones. Anyway, I'm sure after this mode appears, there will be many more good quality rally stages over time. When it comes to EA Sports WRC, I often see comments that stages here are soulless. I disagree. This is a bit of exaggeration. Yes, graphics here are a step back from Dirt Rally 2.0. And there are locations that are not much different from each other. But some stages here are still very atmospheric and cool looking. Yes, sometimes I also have feelings that some stages are made like in Constructor from Dirt 4, where you could automatically create stages from several patterns. But overall, there are quite a lot of stages here, and I'm gonna give at least 7 points for this. I won't repeat myself about RBR. More than 500 stages. This game is a king of variety of stages. And yet, many of these stages don't feel like a fast food. On the contrary, you feel all the love and effort put into every square meter, as if these stages were prepared very long and carefully, but your beloved one. Your grandma, for example. Car physics, tarmac. Here we have reached extremely important point – car physics. I'll be brief here. There's only 3 games with realistic physics that in any way related to rally: Richards-Burns Rally, Assetto Corsa and BMG. And all these games have excellent interaction with tarmac surface. If you drive a car in real life and have a steering wheel for sim racing, then you're gonna feel it right away. EA Sports WRC compared to those games. This is a giant step towards arcade driving, because realism, unfortunately, is not a selling point. Richards-Burns Rally was very coldly received by the general audience in the year of its release. But it was this realism that was in vanilla version that eventually made modified RBR the main rally simulator 20 years later. Car physics, gravel. The main question for me was, how good is Assetto Corsa on gravel? To seriously compete with RBR, you need rally physics on gravel surface. So, if we talk about my sensations, then most of all, the physics on gravel here reminded me the experience in modified first dirt rally. Like in dirt rally, car seems to fall into right or to the left, even when you are just driving in straight line. At the same time, I don't feel the suspension working enough, but this is more about feedback. I also analyze the replays. Well, on replays, physics look more convincing than in terms of sensations while driving. That's definitely progress. Modders claim that a lot of work has been done on gravel physics, and this work continues. At the moment, RBR is clearly winning here, but the modders of Assetto Corsa are on the right track. EA Sports WRC have the same thing as on tarmac. Force feedback. What I really like about Codemasters games is the force feedback on gravel surface. Feedback here is very informative. I feel every bump on surface, and this applies to different types of gravel. But I don't like this instability when going in a straight line. Some say the reason is a pivot point of the car. Anyway, it spoils the overall feedback, because you feel it in the steering wheel. It's like someone seriously screwed up your linearity settings, and you can do nothing about it. I have 2 complaints about feedback in RBR. First, quite stingy and monotonous feedback on gravel surface. Ideally, I would like to feel more detail, like in Codemasters games. And secondly, I would like to feel more weight transfer in steering wheel during turns, like in Assetto Corsa and BMG. Assetto Corsa, perfect feedback on tarmac, but a take of 2 points for the gravel, which overall feels like a modified dirt rally, and the surface itself is less informative than in RBR. All the games here get 8 points from me. Online playing. I have seen videos where people creating servers to play Assetto Corsa online together. But as far as I understand, there is no possibility to create online championships with this rally mode here yet. And how this is possible, given the random component of the rally content for each of the participants? I think this is necessary to apply scheme here, as in the case of RBR. It is necessary to create separate plugin where rally cars and stages defined by the plugin creators will be collected, and based on this, take step toward online. In my opinion, this is absolutely logical development of the rally direction here. There is already a lot of rally resources, and we all need online here, like in RBR. Well, while Assetto Corsa is not there, we have 2 main options. Reach a number of tournaments, championships, and those who wishing to participate in all of it in RBR. An arcade version of rally for everyone else. For me the choice is obvious. 0 points, 6 points and 10 plus. Sound and sound design. Sometimes people write me asking how you can rate F mode in RBR so low. But I never said that I didn't like the sound of engines in RBR. I love the raw realism that underlies the team's work on F mode. But I didn't like some sounds coming from the car body that could only be heard from the inside. And since I've been using a bonnet camera for a long time now, I don't hear those sounds. For me the problem is solved. As far as sound design is concerned, it's a matter of taste. In this aspect, sometimes I prefer studio sound design to raw realism. And I have always been a big fan of sounds in Codemasters games. But as for the replays, RBR often sounds more interesting, and this is logical considering the nature of the origin of the source materials. Assetto Corsa. It is difficult to judge rally cars in general, given the random component. Some cars sound great, others bad, some are too loud, others too quiet. I found a way to adjust the volume using text file, and by the way, it's very convenient. For some cars I completely replace the sound. So overall 6, 10 and 7. Damage system. People wrote to me that eSports WRC has a choice of damage level, and I didn't say anything about it. Guys, of course I meant the maximum setting by default. Overall it's well implemented. It's very annoying moment with the hood, which is ready to open at any moment if you even slightly crash into something, and I like it. But still, compared to RBR, even at maximum settings, you can abuse your car an admissibly large amount before it refuses to go any further. And visually, again, this game is a big step back compared to its predecessor. Assetto Corsa. Well, I expected much more from the simulator. But this game is too forgiving. There may be some mod, but its original state I don't really like the damage system. Yes, I am afraid to go off the road, but not because I don't want to crash the car, but because there is too much risk of falling into the textures and not coming back. Immersion in gameplay. After I bought the steering wheel and direct drive base, my interest turned towards simulation. The release of eSports WRC created a lot of illusions and hopes in me, but in the end, my interest didn't turn into something more. In my very first video about RBR, I compared this game to sitcoms that you can rewatch endlessly, and a year later I surprised at how accurate this was. RBR has become much closer to me, and I am grateful to its creators and modders. Thanks to Grandma for these endlessly delicious and unforgiving cookies. Assetto Corsa pleasantly surprised me. There's a real rally here now. Yes, there are a lot of random moments, but for me this is another problem. I prefer functional mods to plug-and-play games. Games with high modification potential always have a future. But if you ask me this question, if we take top stage and top car in RBR and in Assetto Corsa, which one brings more pleasure? I don't even know what to choose. Assetto Corsa in the moment is a new experience for me, and visually this game looks very good with mods. But if we compare in general, RBR is full-fledged rally game with good online. What else do you need to be happy, right? So, I think over time I'm gonna make videos about rally in Assetto Corsa, showing you stages and cars that worth checking out. By the way, if you already have this game installed, you just need to add Rally Copilot app to get this all working. The price of subscription is $1, the link will be in description. And RBR is my #1 go-to rally game, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, take care and have a good stage.